Ahoy hoy gang, if this is your first time with us, welcome, and if you're joining us from a previous video, hey, we love to see it, and I hope you're doing well. That's right, we're doing this show too. I thought it would be only fair to do a compare and contrast, as it were. Obviously, we're going to be working our way up to this season with our Family Guy reviews, but I thought going forward, maybe this is the play. Reviewing the current seasons while working on the previous season reviews. So the pre-Cleveland show era is still coming. I'm still working on a couple other reviews, but these don't take any time at all, and figured, why not? Let's stay topical. So 24 seasons in, 24 seasons of Family Guy. And here we are, the season premiere. The 450th episode of a show that had to fight being canceled. 450 episodes deep into a show that I would absolutely consider one of the most culturally impactful series of all time. You could say the same about The Simpsons, and hot take, I would even argue that Family Guy has a larger global footprint nowadays. I know, it sounds ludicrous, but think about how many Family Guy shorts you watch, how many compilations show up in your feed. Whether it was the DVD era, the Blu-ray era, or even, streaming. I mean, Family Guy's on TV almost all day, every day. You can sometimes find it on 4 different networks at the exact same time. I'm not denying Family Guy's impact, just saying it probably should have stopped 4 seasons ago. But it's time to ask, just how good or bad was it? Well, there's only one way to find out and 3 questions to be asked. What worked, what failed, what wine spiked with edibles being consumed will be curtailed. Buckle up, friends. Remember your rules of engagement, because it's time to review an edible arrangement. At the time of recording this, they had actually just broke the news that Stewie was getting a spin-off series, a 2-season order where he goes to kindergarten and goes on wacky magic school bus adventures. Had this come out, say, season 14-ish, around the end of the Cleveland show, I think this might have been an absolute success. That sounds exactly like the kind of thing a Family Guy audience would clamor to. Nowadays, I do not see the Stewie show lasting that long. I mean, Ted was good. 2 seasons of Ted, I would have liked the 3rd season, honestly. We're not getting a 3rd season of Ted. They confirmed that everything's just kind of wrapping up with this 3rd movie, and that's that for the Tedverse. But yeah, no, Family Guy is definitely not a series that I think could survive another spin-off, and this episode is kind of the reason why. Over 24 seasons, realistically, I would say this started showing up more around, say, season 7. We've started to see the characters' morals just sort of go out the window. The family exists for the sake of jokes. Where there was once a genuine heart that cared for classic television and film, now it is a cynical, pulsing core that could be misconstrued as a heart. Like, okay, let's get into the episode proper. So, there's a new dispensary in Quahog, and everyone's excited to go in and buy marijuana. Yay! And Peter talks to Cleveland about all the white guys with dreads dating all the black women and how there's a plan for that. And, okay, alright, felt like that joke went on for maybe just 15 seconds too long. It's so odd because you see these jokes and they could work, but it's like they're padding for time, and the episodes are only 21 minutes long. And that's so frustrating because we have this whole thing where Brian gets his edibles and Stewie wants a cookie, and Lois says, no, you can't have your cookies. You're a little baby boy. Let me put them in this locked cupboard with these edibles so that they're held in a safe location. And then Stewie gets into the Oreos and has an edible and, gets addicted to the feeling of being high. He takes some other kids up to the roof where they could be high together, and I mean, admittedly, that joke did get me when he's talking about, like, of course we're high, we're on the roof. It's like, you know what, that's dumb enough to tickle me pink. I like that. Keep going with that. Keep running with that energy, not, oh, the teacher caught him being high and now he's going into protective custody with Joe while Lois and Peter finish their parental mandatory trainings. And yeah, that's our lead into the A story. And it goes on for 9 minutes of a 20-minute episode. So you've got like 11 minutes to really sink your teeth into. And the rest of it is Stewie at the Swanson house where Joe pretends to be the funniest guy in any room and how he's going to write for the Follies, and Bonnie is miserable. And it just feels so tired and dated. I'm so worn down on what this newer Family Guy is trying to do. It just makes everyone look bad for the sake of the joke. You know, and I hate comparing the two, but I feel like we have to. American Dad, the characters are still the characters. You may get a Fox era Steve episode or a little bit more shallow of a Haley episode, but everything they do is on brand for them. Now, you know, Meg has gone from wanting to be one of the popular kids to being like, yeah, I can grab a man whenever I want to. Come on now, why am I failing these, you know, sexual harassment trainings? It's like, she's 16 or something. Like, what? Why is this a focus? Why is this where you're writing Meg? I don't care what you do with Peter. I don't care what you do with Lois. Oh, look at that. Chris is just a chronic masturbator, and Brian exists to get high and write terrible books, which, you know, those are still character traits. Those have been referenced on those characters for well over a decade at this point, and maybe I just wished it was something fresh. But alas, it isn't. And again, this is the 450th episode of the entire series. And halfway through, Stewie decides he needs a break from all of Lois's new rules, steals some of Brian's edibles, pops one for himself, and drops two, thanks to the advice of a Bill Cosby in his head, in his mom's wine. So when she drinks her chewy wine, she also gets high, and she is high with her baby, and they bond. And it's supposed to be a heartfelt moment, except it does nothing. Like, okay, this is the first time that they can actually communicate with one another. And they have that heart-to-heart where, you know, Stewie's like, I always wished I could kill you, Lois. I'm not good at the voices. But it's like, okay, Stewie tells Lois that he wants to kill her because he feels like she's walked on and he doesn't want that for himself. Okay, kind of nuanced take, I guess. Except, is Lois walked on all the time? Constantly? Really feels like she wears the pants in the family a lot of the time, and doesn't really feel like that's part of her character? You could argue that about Francine in some episodes, absolutely. But to say that Lois is just sort of walked on, it just doesn't feel like that's worth 450 episodes of build-up, or, you know, we finally decided to make an episode where Lois and Stewie talk to each other, and they go and watch The Big Lebowski, and really awkwardly thank the theater attendant that also is their waiter when they go to IHOP. Yeah. Character. Like, you have an opportunity to actually do something. To do something earnestly. You could do something that can impact the rest of the show. American Dad wrote Jeff off. They killed Jeff off, and that was during the Fox era. Like, they weren't afraid to do those kinds of experiments, to make those references. Now, you know, Joe's a joke when he was the hero cop next door. Peter is just kind of there. And then you have, I don't even know what Stewie is. Stewie's getting a spin-off, but Stewie changes every other season. What's he gonna be? He's still a kid. He's not really the evil mastermind who wants to take over the world anymore. I genuinely can't think of the last time he's tried to kill Lois, so I don't even know why this is a topic that's being brought up as like a frequent thing. It just feels out of place and yet somehow overdone. Like, this is a chance for Alex Bornstein and Seth MacFarlane to really pour their hearts out as these characters, to really have that emotional grip, and it just feels flat. It feels almost like they made this to just get people to talk about it, and in that regard, it worked. Because by the end of the episode, oh, they're sobering up, and she forgets everything that she talked about with him, and he threatens to kill her again. Ooh, I'm gonna get you. Like, oh, so none of this mattered. None of this had any weight or gravity or anything. And like, you could do that once. You could do that twice in a show. You could do that 5, 6, 7 times. But we're well into the dozens of times this has happened throughout Family Guy at this point, where that return to normal is the joke, where any heart you might have thought would be in an episode, any amount of growth, any amount of narrative depth, the fact that you thought that is the joke. And now it returns to normal. It always returns to that same normal. Even though The Simpsons shows growth, shows additions. Remember when Comic Book Guy got married? There's new storylines with her. I still think The Simpsons should be canceled, but at least there is reason for it to exist. At least they are adding to their narrative. They are not writing themselves into a corner. Here, especially this season, Family Guy just feels like they're patting their knees and going, how else can we fill 20 minutes? I don't know, man. Maybe edibles and then like a Bill Cosby joke? World War II? Yeah, World War II. We make a World War II reference. Cool. Glad we had this talk. How many more episodes do we have to fill? 18? So that's, yeah. No, it's just, I've had to watch this episode 3 times. Initial watch, a rewatch, and then a watch before I recorded this. And yeah, no, it just never struck. It never hit. There was never a moment where I felt a deeper connection to these characters. And I can feel that in an episode of American Dad where Stan's powering through his illness and then gets mega bat pangolin disease and turns into a mutant freak. That is more relatable than 2 people eating edibles and having a heart-to-heart. And I gotta be honest with you, that should be Uno reverse card. That should be completely different. And yet, this episode just makes me sad for what Family Guy's become. It's just not good. It's not entertaining. It just floats there. An edible arrangement is a urine bag draining 2 out of 10. And there we have it. That was my review of An Edible Arrangement. Anything you think I was right on? Wrong on? What was your favorite part of the episode? Least favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked what you saw, consider liking, subscribing, and telling your friends. We're out here. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Just comparing this to the season premiere of American Dad. Just comparing these two on a 1-by-1 basis. The American Dad one was probing. It was trying to appeal to, again, a Fox audience rather than the TBS audience they'd gotten used to. And it was a very safe episode. It was a very standard American Dad. Here, these people are just the worst. They don't have any of the redeeming qualities they had when they were, younger characters, when they were earlier characters. Where American Dad has these rules they don't break, Family Guy, it just goes, they're horrible people now, who cares? They're gonna be horrible, and they're all bad. None of them are good. Make them all irredeemable. Of course, Stewie steals edibles from Brian's car, and Brian's a degenerate for driving around with edibles in the first place, and just hate them all. Hate them all, because we hate them all. And that's really all it feels like. It does not feel like there is joy in this writing at all anymore. It's really kind of sad that I go into a 450th episode celebration and go, gee, I wonder what heart-wrenching moment they're gonna try and pull here. Is it as bad as Stewie goes to therapy? I mean, that one should have at least had some kind of impact. It should have at least had some payoff down the line. This, yeah, sure, it just kind of floats there. It never really achieves anything. And we still got more episodes to go, man. It's not the end, it's the beginning. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here at the Lecture Hall. And if you want to support the channel, consider joining our membership or Patreon programs today. $2 a month gets you your name on this fancy list of champions. Look at them. Look at how regal they look on this list. Yes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, I will be back reviewing all the other episodes of the season, because why not? It keeps us consistent. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, stay strong, keep fighting that good fight, and know that I believe in you. Times are tough, but I believe that you're tougher. A rising tide lifts all ships, and I can feel one hell of a wave a-coming. Goodbye, everybody, and I'll see you all next time.